Yo, what's going on, you guys? Today we have when you're not built for the NHL playoffs. Man, you guys, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. It's been a minute since we have a hockey video on this channel. And I really like hockey, man. I really like it, but something like, I don't know why, I just like kind of forgot about it a little bit. It wasn't until like recently I was scrolling to Instagram and I seen the Panthers, like, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? One of these days, man. I was scrolling through Instagram. I seen the Panthers are in the playoffs and just beat the Hurricanes 5-2. I'm like, yo, I gotta get back to it, man. Right now is the perfect time to really get back to it again, because you know, like the highlights, the videos I watched before, when it comes to hockey, man, I loved it, dog. Like, I'm talking about like the hits, the crossing, bro. Everything about hockey was amazing, but along the way, I just kind of forgot about it. But I'm telling you, man, we back at it. So the best way to get back to it for real is really to watch Hockey Psychology. He does a really good job of actually summarizing everything that happened the week prior. So I feel like this video was posted 2 days ago, I believe, 2 days ago. So I feel like he gonna summarize everything that happened. The teams that actually are in the playoffs. I don't even know if this video is a good one, but hey, we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. But again, I'm so sorry, and I know a lot of you guys subscribed for the hockey videos, and I haven't been doing that. We gonna get back to it, you feel me? So let's just go straight to it. Come on.
9 straight years in the Austin Matthews era, and one occurring theme throughout has been failure. Despite pushing the defending Cup champs to 7 games, the words Game 7 have been the Toronto Maple Leafs' ultimate boogeyman. With another egg and disappointment, this is likely the end for a group of core players who together are just flat out not built for the NHL playoffs. So let's take a deep dive into Game 7, the series as a whole, and how the defending Cup champs found a way to stand tall yet again. Now, in Game 6, the Leafs played their best.
So again, like I said, I haven't been keeping up. So please, if you guys could tell me, what rounds are they in right now? Let me see. Oh, they're in the conference finals right now. Dang, wow. So I missed a lot, bro. Okay, so the Panthers are playing the Hurricanes in the conference finals, and they just won Game 1. Perfect. Okay, so who else? So you know, I got 2 teams. I got the Panthers because I'm from Florida, and I got the Oilers, I believe. Oilers because McDavid played for them. So let's see how they did. Yesterday, the Oilers lost 3-6 to the Stars. Okay, not a good start, man. So, but hey, I feel like I mean, it's a long series. So okay, it's not bad.
We covered it in our last video how the Leafs had an answer for the Panthers forecheck. The biggest response was the rim support for Toronto off the Panthers forecheck, and how they were able to bypass the Panther pressure by using chips along the wall and then attacking off the rush. However, the Panthers did a few things to just totally suffocate the Leafs. First, the F3 for Florida just played a tiny bit higher in the O-zone. It is very subtle, but whatever hesitancy that the Florida Panthers D had in Game 6 to step up, it was just completely gone because of that support by the F3 of Florida. Anytime Toronto went up the wall, Florida's F3 was there in support for their defender. Panthers game works when it's seamless pressure, and that F3 is a big component of it. Now, the Leafs won the battle along the wall in Game 6, but the Panthers made it their mission to not allow that to happen in Game 7 and own the wall. They dared the Leafs to step out of their comfort zone and make a play into the middle of the ice. That's something you simply can't do cleanly against Florida when every guy is where they need to be and the D steps up to pinch. Now, the aggression isn't perfect. It actually almost led to the detriment of the Panthers. First, watch Florida here get caught cheating along the wall. These types of plays were here to be made in the first period for Toronto. Panthers get over-aggressive, anticipating the chip up the boards. They make a play into the middle, and Scotty Lawton is all Swedish with that finish. He can't bury, it remains a 0-0 game. Same thing later as well.
He's talking about it wrong before that, but I kind of just want a summary of everything that happened. Hold on, man. See, I'm gonna switch this video. This video is good, but I kind of want a summary of everything that happened right now, so you could tell me everything that happened.
Let's talk about a team that goes all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. They just barely lose in a Game 7, and the following year, they're favored to win the Cup all the way until the playoffs start.
McDavid.
That's when all of the disbelief starts to happen. Let's go over some of the storylines that have been surrounding the Oilers to start the playoffs. This is the LA Kings' year. Surely their team play and goaltending is more than enough to take down Edmonton. The Oilers own the Kings. That doesn't count. Vegas is a whole other beast.
Man, he's the GOAT, man. I was instantly hooked hooked on hockey because of like McDavid, the way he could move, oh my goodness, this man
will sweep them in the second round. Only to follow with the Edmonton Oilers' run will end in the conference finals because they're not as deep as Dallas or Winnipeg. This is just what most fans have been saying about this team since the playoffs started. And again, they were favored to win the Cup this year, even though they reached the finals last year, and then people changed their mind for some reason. And I hate to admit it, but I was actually one of those people who was disbelieving in the Edmonton Oilers.
Okay.
No more, though, because it's high time I start giving the Edmonton Oilers their flowers, especially considering how incredible they've been as of late, despite some of the adversities that they have faced. The Oilers are now 8-3 through this year's playoff run, and despite missing their top defenseman in Matthias Ekholm, and arguably having one of the more controversial goaltending rooms, they have tapped into their superstars' potential, and more importantly, their depth has become one of the more consistent across every team in the playoffs. So today, let's not only recap their playoff series so far, but also talk about why the Edmonton Oilers should be the favorite to win the Stanley Cup this year. For 4 consecutive years, the Edmonton Oilers and LA Kings would face off in round 1 of the playoffs, and for the 4th year in a row, Edmonton would take down their divisional opponent. Games 1 and 2 can be defined as Kings hockey at its finest, and the biggest reason why a lot of people were picking LA to win this series. The Kings scored 11 goals in their first 2 games, picking apart Stuart Skinner nearly every chance they got, leading to what would ultimately be a goaltending change for the rest of the series by Edmonton.
I'm gonna watch the highlights next for this game. Not this game, but for the what it's called. I'm gonna watch the Panthers highlights and I'm gonna watch the Oilers highlights. Hopefully they don't block it out, cause I think hockey they do be blocking a lot of this stuff. So hopefully they don't block it, man.
Scoring 7 goals in Game 3 to beat the Kings 7-4. Game 4 was much closer, but going into overtime for the first time in this series, this is where you can kind of tell the difference between these two teams. While the Kings do have stars both new and old, they don't have those back-breaking studs like Edmonton does, and Draisaitl proved why they are the better team overall, scoring his first overtime game winner in the playoffs to seal the deal for the Oilers and tie up the series 2-2. The Oilers were back on the road, and this is a best-of-3 series now, and this was arguably the most important game of the playoffs for the Oilers so far. The Kings had an astonishingly good home record this year, and all the Oilers really had to do to win this series was pick up 1 win on the road, and that's exactly what happened. Picard put up his best game of the series at the most important time, stopping 38 of 39 shots, and this is mainly where the depth concept came in for Edmonton. There is also another side to the Oilers that people don't talk about enough. Their depth, it's been pretty incredible this year.
I can't really say nothing because I really don't know much, but it's I'm just kind of watching and learning. That's why you don't see me. I'm not saying anything right now.
More importantly, it's stepped up in this year's playoffs. In this game particularly, Connor Brown, Darnell Nurse, Trent Frederick, and Zach Hyman were the ones to lead the Oilers to victory, proving the old saying that role players play better at home. In 2022, the Edmonton Oilers 1-7. In 2023, they 1-6. Last year they 1-5, and this year they 1-6 again, proving that they own the LA Kings and that a lot of people need to start giving them more credit for how they step up during every year's play.
Well, okay, so he mentioned a lot of people they didn't think the Oilers was gonna go anywhere. If you got a player like McDavid, right? Okay, I'm thinking basketball term. If I got a player that's top 5 in the league, I feel like you always got a chance. You feel me? And especially if you're in the playoffs, and if you got somebody else on the side of you who's good, who's also good, wouldn't you say they always got a chance though? You feel me? So why would people be like, oh yeah, they can't make it, they can't have a deep playoff run? You feel me? Somebody tell me in the comments. Why was that?
Round 2 had an eerily similar narrative for the Oilers as round 1. Many, and I'm ashamed to say this, including myself, believe that the Oilers' goaltending and depth would eventually start to become more problematic than it would be efficient. Okay. But boy, were we all wrong. Through the first 2 games of the series, on the road mind you, Edmonton proved that they were a better team through the third period, that they were able to take all of Vegas' punches and still come out swinging with their own shots. And I feel like that set the tone for not only this series, but for the rest of the playoffs, with Edmonton almost feeling like there were too many doubters against them, that they had to go out and perform to such a high level to prove everyone wrong. And that's exactly what they did for most of this series. Remember what I said, a series isn't over until you win one on the road, and Edmonton took this to another level by winning their first 2 games on the road against Vegas, and now they're heading to Alberta on a flight thinking all we have to do is split these games at home and we basically have this series locked down. Now this is where an interesting storyline came in for Edmonton. Remember we talked about Calvin Pickard stepping up and becoming a water bug for this lineup, a true influential piece in getting the Edmonton Oilers back in their first round series. Now to this point, he's 6-0 in the playoffs. Meanwhile, the starting goalie for the Edmonton Oilers, Stuart Skinner, is 0-2. And now Pickard is down with an injury, meaning that the Oilers have to go back to Skinner, a guy who was pretty shaky through every playoff start since last year, losing in the finals during Game 7. Skinner had a decent comeback in Game 3, but this sloppy end-of-game goal that Riley Smith had scored, where you can't even find him in some of these angles, really had Oilers fans frustrated with their starting goalie. But Stuart Skinner must have taken this criticism personally for the following games. I mean, we are talking about a guy who led his team to the finals last year. Surely he had a better performance.
Wait, so is it possible that the Panthers and the Oilers can be in the finals? Man, that would be amazing. That's exactly what's gonna happen if they win. Oh yeah, that would be great, man. I gotta find a way to react to these highlights.
Than an 0-3 record would suggest. Well, surely he did. He came out and put up 2 back-to-back shutout performances, one at home and one on the road, not only securing his team a win, but gaining a confidence that's going to be very, very important moving forward, especially when you consider the other teams that Edmonton is going to have to face in this long playoff run. But the most important thing out of all of this, they not only beat down the LA Kings, but they put on an even more impressive performance against the Vegas team that a lot of people were favoriting in this series. The Oilers had proved the hockey world wrong yet again. A team that allegedly had no defense and apparently no depth or goaltending had used their flaws to get by 2 of the top contenders out west, all without their best defenseman, Mattias Ekholm.
I gotta follow more hockey content creators or pages on Instagram.
The notion that the Edmonton Oilers are not a complete team or that they can't play defense, I feel at this point has been debunked. They've proven enough with their game to show us that they are one of the top contenders still. But believe it or not, reporters and media are still putting these questions out there to the team, and in this clip by Connor McDavid, you can see that the frustration has really boiled over at this point.
The way that you guys defend and feel more comfortable defending.
And how many times are we going to answer this question, really? Like, honestly, it's frustrating that we keep talking about this. We can defend. We can. We've showed that time and time again.
Why I keep pressing my man, bro? He said we could defend, that's it. If he said we can defend, that's it, bro. Stop asking the question if you can defend or not, bro. They're in the conference finals right now. Would they be in the conference final if they can't defend? I don't care what sport you play. If you can't defend, you can't win. So, come on, man. Stop playing with a man, dog.
We can play that way. We can score goals. We can whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Yep. Yeah. You heard him.
With that all being said, you can see Edmonton is clearly confident in their game. But the road ahead, it's going to be difficult, especially with whoever's coming out of that Winnipeg versus Dallas series having a lot of momentum, beating some difficult opponents during the first round. The Jets match up quite nicely against the Oilers, having a gritty physical team that can score a lot of goals, especially at home. Hellebuck has been inconsistent, but when he's on, he's one of the best goalies in the world and can make this Jets team
I just follow some hockey pages on Instagram.
He's coming off 2 back-to-back home shutouts, so keep an eye on him and the Jets because they'll be a dangerous third-round opponent for the Oilers to face. But on the other hand, things don't get easier if you match up with Dallas, who has the hottest scorer in the playoffs and one of the deepest teams we've seen in quite some time. They have the ability to roll out 4 lines. They just got their top defenseman back into their lineup. And Jake Ottinger has been an underrated top goalie in this year's playoffs and still has a lot to prove with the upcoming Olympics and him wanting to be their starting goalie. I will say, though, I've been burnt twice already, so I'm going to pick the Edmonton Oilers to win regardless of who they're facing off against. When it comes to the Jets, I think they'll be able to figure out Connor Hellebuck. I'm still not sure if he's going to be consistent enough. And I also believe, with their history in Dallas, that they can get it done against this team. Obviously, Dallas did add a top 10 player to their team, so it will be difficult. But I'm just kind of at the point where I can't count out the Oilers anymore. I feel like I've done it too many times, and that in order for me to truly give them their flowers, I need to start siding with them in some of these series. The reason I'm doubling down on the Oilers to make the finals at this point is not because they've just burnt me in the past, but I believe they're playing the most consistent hockey of every playoff team. Maybe outside of the Carolina Hurricanes, who also deserve their own flowers, but we'll do that in a different video. For the Edmonton Oilers, they're playing great with their 5v5 numbers this year and relying a lot less on their power play compared to last year's postseason, which I think will be a huge contributor to their success this year. They're also getting contributions from nearly all of their role players, which we talked about a lot in this video. Not solely relying on McDavid and Draisaitl is important, even though those two are still putting up great numbers. Their goaltending, while shaky, finally seems to have leveled out at the best possible time. And while I have questions about their defensive consistency still, even though I do feel like it's a little bit overblown with how people portray them, I just think that overall effort needs to be taken to another level if you want to beat a team like the Jets or the Stars. But I have to believe that they're going to continue playing like this after taking down two very strong offensive opponents in the Kings and the Knights. The Oilers have the tools to win this year. They have the superstars, their depth has finally stepped up, and now their goaltending and defense aren't the biggest topic of conversation for this team. They've actually been a plus when you look at the whole picture. The real question is, will this all continue? Will they manage to produce at this level against a conference finals opponent that will be more difficult than anyone they've faced so far? Or will their hot streak fizzle out at the worst time? I believe the former is a more accurate representation of this team, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. At this point, though, I'm all in on the Oilers, and I have them getting back to the Stanley Cup Finals.
All right.
But as always, I want to hear from you guys. How do you feel about the Edmonton Oilers this year? Are you confident that they'll be able to get back to the Stanley Cup Finals? Or do you think that their hot streak is going to fizzle out against an opponent like Winnipeg or Dallas? Thank you guys, as always, for watching these videos. If you enjoyed this one, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the...
Man, this was a good video. I mean, I don't know, man. If you got McDavid, you always got a chance. Because this man is nice, man. He's nice. He's nice. Like, he's the... Like, from the highlights I've seen, no glaze, man. From the highlights I've seen, he looks like he's the best, man. He looks like he's the best. So, I hope they make it to the finals against the Panthers. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.